Time to do a, what are we doing? Honda spark plug change. And this is a 2009 Honda Accord. What we're going to do now is I'm going to show you all of the parts that you need. You're going to need your ratchet with a 3/8 adapter or a 3/8 ratchet, 6-inch extension, 5/8 socket to remove the spark plug, 10mm. This is to measure the gap for your spark plug. As long as you buy the one for your car, it should be gapped appropriately. For this car is 0.44 inches, I believe. Um, and we're going to need 4 spark plugs. Last but not least, some people use anti-seize lubricant on there. Not necessary, but you know, it can be used. But definitely you're going to need some dielectric grease. See, zoom on there. That's what's going to go between your connectors to prevent that from getting damaged. So first things first, right on the top here, as you've noticed the engine, you see this is where the fuel injection goes, fuel lines, so we know our spark plug is right back here. This is the engine cover. What we do is we loosen this 1, 2, 3, 4 screws, and as we collect those, we should be able to look at what it looks like inside. Alright, 2 more. Alright, that comes right off. So this is a 4-cylinder, so there's your 4 connectors, 1, 2, 3, 4. What you could do here is a good habit is whenever you have screws lying around so you don't lose them, just put them right back where they go. So we'll just pop these back here so we don't lose them. And alright, what we got to do next now is disconnect the ignition coils. The ignition coil is an electronic device that actually generates that high voltage for your spark plug. Every each one of these separately, and there's a purple connector. So you just got to depress and pull out. So I'll show you that in a second. Alright, here we are. We're removing the connectors from each one of them. So all you got to do, Honda makes it real easy. You have to just depress this connection until it clicks, and you may pull out just like that. Click. You may hear this one, and there it goes. That whole piece goes ready to go. Now, as you've noticed here, there is a screw, 4 screws we're going to have to remove before we're able to remove the ignition coil. Alright, we've loosened all of the screws holding the ignition coils in place. So what you want to do, you don't want to change more than 1 spark plug at a time. In the event that you take this out and per se you drop it in there, now it goes inside your engine, and I would not proceed until you get that screw out or any piece of garbage in there, because that will destroy your engine. So very important, you only do 1 at a time. When you go ahead for demonstration purposes, I'll just show you here. After I loosen this one, what you want to do is the coil, just pull it out. It comes right out with you, right in the hand, this long thing. See, this is why you need a 6-inch extension. Otherwise, you would not be able to reach the bottom of the tunnel for the spark plug. So this is where the spark plug goes into. Just save that in a safe place, and you bring over your extension. See, that fits in perfect and just nicely in there. Bring in your ratchet, grab that in there, and let's see if I can do that one-handed. I sure can. And we'll give it a couple of spins. It's now loose. And we'll take a look at this spark plug here. And I think we got it here. Let's see what this feels like. So there's our spark plug attached to the end. Let's take a look at it over here. So this is what an old plug looks like. If you see that this plug is too white, actually way too hot to touch, I'm going to put that back in there. Or here, I'll grab a cooler one. So you notice this is too white or too black. That's a problem with your engine. You definitely want to go ahead and get your engine inspected. further. But if it looks something like this, where this has been used for 100,000 miles, it's okay to come in and put in a new one. And that's what it looks like in comparison after 100,000 miles. So I did actually find my anti-seize lubricant. Here it is. What you want to do with your anti-seize lubricant is you want to apply it to the very, I have a hard time focusing here. You want to apply it to the end of the threads, because as you screw it in, that grease will move down. So you don't need to slobber it with anti-seize. And what you also want to avoid is putting anti-seize at the very tip. Now, when you look at the top here, here's where I put this is where the dielectric grease goes. That would be this grease. That's where the ignition coil will go on top. So what we'll do here is we'll set this one up to go inside. So we'll just put it on here like this. We want to hear it click. Alright, that was more than a one-handed job, but we got our dielectric grease. Hold on, can we focus this? We got our dielectric grease and we got our anti-seize. We come on over and we make sure we get that in there with no problem. And the idea of tightening here is you just want it barely, because it has anti-seize lubricant. There's not going to be as much resistance as if you didn't have a lubricant. So you want to barely tighten it. So you could imagine it's got a pressure washer, a compression washer, should I say. Let me show it to you. This washer right here, that washer that you see there, it's got one of those, just like when you change the oil, you want to just compress it enough that you're not going to overdo it. So let's see. Okay, just give it a crank right there. So you get a feel. I don't know the torque that may be found in the manual, but I went with the feel. So what we want to do now is we grab the coil that we used to have in there, put that right on top, let it match over the old spot. Good. We'll put our screw back in. Good. I'll proceed down the line, get my connectors back in, get my engine top cover, and you have completed a spark plug change in less than 10 minutes.